Here are the components of a Trinity T-Series boiler. In my previous video I showed the unit all intact, and so now these are the parts that I've taken out. Some of these I will save. This is the burner assembly. It's got the blower, gas valve, all that went into the heat exchanger like this. So there's the burner, refractory material. I'm impressed. It's all intact. This is one of the better ones I've seen in a boiler that's 14 years old or so. So this whole assembly here I'm going to save for potential replacement in some other T-Series boiler, at least to get it running for a while. And so that's a valuable piece right there.
That's the fan.
That's the fan. This is the heat exchanger. This probably is of little value. I'm probably not going to save this because it's, if I have to replace a heat exchanger in a boiler, if I have to replace the heat exchanger in a boiler, I'm going to just replace the boiler. So, but if you'll notice here, this is the smoke hood that I mentioned earlier.
That's the smoke hood.
And this was the weak point here where the PVC attached to it. And then here, you can see the gasket has broken here and was leaking big time here. So that's where much of the corrosion that you saw on the case earlier came from. So this smoke hood bolted on like this.
Like this.
Yeah, like that. And like so that. You can see how the gasket failed, just broke there on the bottom.
This thing came.
Now, here's another interesting thing. This heat exchanger has two chambers. This chamber is where the burner goes into. That's the chamber divider back there.
This thing goes on here. And
you can see the heat exchanger is just these spiral stainless steel tubes that go around.
This door.
So what happens is the flue gases go between the tubes into this outer jacket, and then they re-enter the secondary chamber, and that's where much of the condensation takes place. Much of the condensation takes place in that second chamber, and so we have a condensate
goes in here.
Drain here, and a condensate drain. There's one condensate drain on the flue collector. So that's where most of the condensation comes from. It goes on there like that. So here and here. Now over here are the components that I'll most likely hang on to. This is the wiring harness, which has all the plugs, transformer, whatnot. As a side note, and you'll see this on many boilers, is the wiring harness that goes to the gas valve. Inside the head, there's actually a what do they call it? Refractor, inverter, oh crap, what do you call it? But they take AC voltage and turn it into DC, or maybe it's the other way around. But anyway, the gas valve has to operate on, I think it's a DC voltage, and this cord actually converts it. So if you ever have a boiler where the gas valve just won't open, that little thing could be the problem. I've had to replace those before. The fin wall, the sentry control, all worth saving. Here is the igniter. I'll hang onto that igniter as a spare. And here's the flame rod. So the flame rod, all these components. Oh, fan switch. That's a brand new fan switch I replaced just a couple months ago to keep this boiler going. So that fan switch is of value too. Okay then. Tyler, my helper, he helped me tear this thing apart.
There's the button.
Yep.
That's the
So that kind of gives you the components of this T-series boiler. And thank goodness they don't make them like this anymore.
Oh, that hurts.
Alrighty.